Asset Protection, the Territory Code for Your Net Worth, Part 1/3. Your current financial state is a bleeding wound in a pool of sharks. Look at your hands. They are soft. The hands of someone who thinks a digital number in a banking app is real security. It isn't. Your wealth is currently a flickering signal, a ghost in a machine owned by someone else. You are a biological unit that has gathered resources, but you have zero territory control. You are sitting in an open field with a pile of gold, wondering why the predators are circling. Your skin is pale with the stress of a man who knows, deep down, that his assets can be deleted with a single keystroke or a legal filing. You are a resource-rich target with a low-tier defense system. The air in your office is thin, ionized by the hum of servers that store your life's work, but you don't own the servers. You don't even own the air. You are a tenant in your own life, paying a tax of ignorance every single day. Your net worth is a bloated, unprotected organ, and the system is already preparing the scalpel. Your savings are just a slow-motion theft you haven't noticed yet. In the primal world, territory was the only asset that mattered. Your ancestor didn't have investments. He had a perimeter. If he didn't mark the boundaries with blood and bone, he didn't have a home. He had a temporary shelter that someone else was about to take. The hierarchy, the law of the soil, was absolute. A male who could not defend his kill was not a provider. He was a delivery service for the local alpha. Your current financial strategy is the equivalent of a herbivore eating in the middle of a plain, exposed, vulnerable, and stupid. You have forgotten the primal grounding of ownership. True ownership is the ability to exclude others. If you cannot exclude the state, the bank, or the litigious, sue-happy parasite from your wealth, you don't own it. You are just holding it for them. You have traded the jagged stone wall for a contract that was written by the same people who want to take your resources. To achieve financial superiority, you must reinfect your strategy with the virus of the fortress. You must treat your net worth as a sovereign territory that requires its own borders, its own laws, and its own private military of legal structures. Build the wall or become the road. Asset protection is the implementation of the anti-chew protocol for your capital. The system wants your money to be liquid, easy to move, easy to steal. They want it in transparent accounts because transparency is just another word for visibility to predators. You must make your wealth indigestible. You must wrap your assets in layers of cognitive, mental, and legal friction. If a predator tries to bite your capital, they should break their teeth on a collar of freedom, a structure that makes the cost of taking your money higher than the value of the money itself. This is the visual rage of finance. Seeing your hard-earned energy being sucked away by maintenance fees, inflation, and social responsibility, and deciding to stop the leak with cold surgical precision. You must develop a clinical contempt for mainstream financial advice. That advice is written for the meat puppets, the average consumers, to keep them compliant and taxable. An operator, the one who dictates the code, doesn't look for yield, he looks for control. If you don't control the jurisdiction, the physical place where your money lives, you don't control the money. A bank is just a cage with a fancy lobby. Your net worth is a biological extension of your life force. Every dollar represents an hour of your life you can never get back. When someone steals your assets through legal theft or inflation, they are literally murdering a part of your past. I command you, initiate a total territory audit. Your current structure is likely a false safety, a house of cards built on the goodwill of a system that is currently starving for resources. You must prune your portfolio like a dead orchard. If an asset is visible, it is a target. If an asset is regulated, it is a hostage. You must become a temporal noose for the taxman. Every structure you build must be designed to slow down the theft of your time. You are building a digital and legal bunker. This is the path of the monolith, standing singular and immovable while the economy rots around you. You are not a customer. You are a sovereign entity. Act like one. The hierarchy of the future will not be determined by who has the most numbers on a screen, but by who has the most unreachable territory. Exile your wealth from the reach of the weak. Your wealth is currently a hostage in a glass house. Look at your financial identity. It is a trail of breadcrumbs leading directly to your throat. You are a biological unit that has spent years accumulating energy, capital, only to leave it lying in a public square. Every transaction you make is a data leak, a signal to the parasites that a host is ready for feeding. Your net worth is bloated with vulnerable tissue, assets that are tied directly to your name, your face, and your location. This is not a strategy. It is a suicide note written in ink. You are living in a state of financial exposure that would make a primitive hunter laugh. You think you are safe because you follow the rules, but the rules were written by the predators to ensure the prey doesn't run too far. The air in your bank is heavy with the scent of institutional decay, and your account manager is nothing more than a zookeeper making sure the animals are calm before the shearing sharing begins. You are a resource-rich organism with a zero-tier defense protocol. In the ancient hierarchy, the law of the hidden cash, the most successful males were not those who carried their wealth openly. They were the ones who mastered the art of the biological ghost. Your ancestor knew that a visible pile of meat invited a fight he might lose. He learned to hide his resources in multiple territories, using the natural terrain to create cognitive friction for anyone trying to track his movements. He understood that sovereignty, total control, was impossible without anonymity. If the tribe didn't know how much he had, they couldn't vote to share it. You have forgotten this primal instinct. You have been trained to be transparent, to be verified, and to be compliant. These are the chains of the domestic animal. To achieve financial superiority, you must relearn the primal grounding of the hidden perimeter. You must decouple your personhood from your property. A man is a target, a structure is a fortress. You must fragment your net worth into a viral infection of legal entities spread across jurisdictions, territories that don't speak the same language. You must become a ghost in your own ledger. The invisible man is the only one who keeps his kill. Asset protection is the activation of your financial survival system. The Matrix wants you to believe that diversification is having 5 different stocks in the same bank. That is not diversification. That is just 5 different ways to lose the same money when the bank closes its doors. Real diversification is jurisdictional arbitrage, the act of placing your assets under different laws, different flags, and different systems of power. You must treat your net worth as a monolith that has been broken into pieces and hidden in the dark. This is the anti-chew protocol for your legacy. You must make the legal process of attacking you so complex, so expensive, and so slow that the predator starves to death before they can take a single bite. This is visual rage applied to the balance sheet, looking at the legal theft of your inheritance tax or your capital gains and deciding to build a vault that the state doesn't have the key to. You must develop a cold, expert contempt for the concept of fairness in finance. Fairness is a fairy tale told to the sheep to make them walk quietly to the slaughterhouse. There is only protected and exposed. A contract is only as strong as the wall behind it. Your capital is your temporal noose. It is the only thing that can buy your time back from the system. If you lose your assets, you lose your future heartbeats. I command you, initiate the territory lock. Your current setup is a false safety, a fragile web of promises made by entities that are currently bankrupt. You must prune your liabilities with the collar of freedom. If an asset can be frozen by a phone call, it isn't yours. If an asset requires a permission slip to move, it is a liability. You must move your energy into hard assets, territories of value that exist outside the digital control of the central nodes. This is the primal grounding of wealth: gold, land, encrypted keys, and private contracts. You are not a customer of the global financial system. You are a competitor. You must treat every bank, every tax office, and every wealth advisor as a potential hostile actor. Your net worth must become a black box. Input goes in, but the contents remain a mystery to the outside world. This is how you build a dynasty. This is how you survive the coming biological reset. Armor your capital or prepare to bleed. Your current financial existence is a desperate hallucination. Look at your portfolio. It is nothing more than a series of flickering pixels on a screen that you do not control. You are a biological unit that has spent its peak years sweating and bleeding to accumulate credits in a system that views you as a temporary battery. Your net worth is a bloated, exposed organ, pulsating with the life force of your stolen time, and the parasites are already vibrating with the anticipation of the feast. Your skin is cold, your heart rate is erratic, and your sleep is thin because you know, in the silent dark of your reptilian brain, that you are one update, one emergency decree, or one legal glitch away from absolute zero. You are a resource-rich organism with a zero-tier defense protocol, standing in the middle of a global collapse with your throat exposed. The air in your lungs is acidic with the realization that your security is a lie told to you by the people who intend to harvest you. You are a biological resource waiting for a liquidation event. Return to the primal hierarchy, the law of the fortified cache. Your ancestor, the apex sovereign, understood that to be seen was to be hunted. He didn't brag about his stores of fat or his piles of flint. He hid them in the deep cracks of the earth, in territories where the weak couldn't follow and the lazy couldn't breathe. His net worth was his ability to survive a winter that killed everyone else. He understood that sovereignty, total power, required a biological ghost strategy, being present in power but absent in target profile. You, however, have been domesticated to crave status, to verify your identity, and to link your wealth to your social standing. This is the mark of the prey. To achieve financial superiority, you must implement the primal grounding of the hidden perimeter. You must fragment your existence. You must own nothing in your own name, but control everything through a network of invisible legal shells. Your territory must be a labyrinth of cognitive friction that exhausts any predator long before they reach the center. You must treat your assets as a military secret. If the tribe knows how much you have, they have already decided how to spend it. The wolf caches the meat, the dog waits for the bowl. Asset protection is the activation of your final defense layer. The matrix wants your capital to be efficient, which is their code word for easy to seize. They want your money in the light where their anti-money laundering, AML, and know your customer, KYC, protocols can scan your soul every time you buy a coffee. I command you, initiate the total system blackout. Your wealth must become a viral infection across multiple jurisdictions, places where the laws don't match, the flags don't align, and the officials don't cooperate. This is the anti-chew protocol for your lineage. You must wrap your assets in the collar of freedom, structures so complex and so geographically dispersed that a legal attack becomes a decade-long war of attrition, wearing down the enemy that no one can afford to fight. This is visual rage applied to the ledger, looking at the legal theft of inflation and the social theft of wealth taxes and deciding to become a ghost in the machine. You must develop a cold, expert contempt for financial transparency. Transparency is for the transparent, the elite move in the shadows. A transparent bank account is a public invitation to your own funeral. Your capital is your temporal noose, the only thing that can buy your heartbeats back from the clock of death. If you lose your territory, you lose your life. I command you, initiate the final territorial imperative. This is the tax of insight. You have been given the code for financial survival in an age of total surveillance. To keep this code, you must manifest it. You must become a monolith of unreachable value. You are no longer a taxpayer or a citizen in the eyes of the system. You are a sovereign entity conducting jurisdictional arbitrage. You must prune your life of vulnerable assets. If it can be seized by a bureaucrat with a pen, it isn't an asset, it's a liability. Move your energy into hard territory, private contracts, offshore trusts, physical gold in neutral ground, and decentralized keys that exist only in your mind. This is the primal grounding of the future elite. You are building a dynasty that can withstand the biological reset of the old world. Your net worth is now a black box, impenetrable, unobservable, and absolute. Command: fortify your territory or watch it be stripped.